Volkswagen Golf GTI. This is as retro as it gets. It comes with all the classics, flames, lightning, wings, and best of all, stripes. But because of the simplistic design, it's best suited for any decal that you really like to look at. You're given so much space on the top and the sides to really see what decals you put on. It gives you a lot of space to work with, so you can really show off a lot more of the decal on this car than most others. The engine sound fits its simple theme. Nothing complicated, nothing crazy, but not too bad either. The Golf GTI also has an additional version at Tier 35, the RLE version for Rocket League Edition. And you can see it's very similar. They didn't add a lot of bells and whistles. It's just a different color hood, some nicer lights, and a little tiny spoiler. So, what about its function? Well, the Golf GTI is an Octane hitbox, and that means if you main the Octane or the Fennec, you'll have an easier time trying to pick up this car. You'll be able to get used to it a lot faster. Now, the other thing that matters with function is how close the visual of the car is to its actual physical hitbox. Now, the back of the Golf GTI is not really worth talking about, partially because it's not very good, and partially because it doesn't affect very many hits that you're going to do. On the other hand, the top does matter. So you'll notice here that it's floating off the ground a little bit. In fact, it's almost as high off the ground as the grass is, which is pretty mediocre. It's not great. It's not terrible either. But the top of the car really affects how well you can flick and dribble, as you might expect. A better match between the visual and the hitbox means it's easier to know how high up you need to hit the ball to catch it on your car. Closer match is also helpful with flicks because then it's easier to time when the car is actually going to hit the ball, whereas if there's a gap between the visual and the hitbox, it's going to mess up your timing. So the dribbles are average, nothing too special. Not super good, not super bad. And unfortunately, the news gets worse before it gets better. Because the sides, look at how far this car is floating off the ground. That's not good. Where the side is really going to affect gameplay is with power shots mostly. A lot of times on power shots, you need to use the corner of your car. And the corner is, of course, half nose and half side. And if the side half is so off, then you're going to end up with inconsistent power shots. And that's what happened to me. I had a bit of a hot and cold relationship with the power shots, because sometimes when I was using more nose, it would be all right. But when I was using more side, things would not go the way I expected. And that is not what you're looking for. But when you add in the front, that's when the real magic happens. This is a nose that could rival the Fennec. It's not clipping into the ground. It's almost perfect, if not perfect. There are very few cars that have as good of a nose as the Fennec. And just for reference, the Fennec is used by 90% of the pros in RLCS. It's a very large number. And the Fennec has all the same problems that this car has. Mediocre top, terrible sides, but its nose is perfect. And I think that is where this car shines the most. In the end, a very simple car. It's all about the nose. So there you have it. My opinion on the Volkswagen Golf GTI. I'd love to hear your opinions in the comments, and I'm sure other viewers would too. So let us know. But for now, that's going to do it for me. So I'll catch you in the next one. Later.